Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. This is another Asian movie collection addendum video. I gotta try to start mixing these in again into my, monthly video lineup. Simply because I'm very behind now. Actually, the past few months I haven't bought much of anything, but before that, I was buying a lot of stuff, so I'm really behind. So I need to catch up. And the only way to do that is to do it on a more consistent basis. I do have a whole bunch of videos in this playlist already. I started the playlist by doing my collection by country of origin. And then, after I got caught up then I did all the new stuff I was buying. So if you want recommendations, this is a pretty good playlist for you. Although it is very long. So, we got a few Korean films we're going to start with. We have a few Hong Kong films we'll get to next, and then a small batch of Japanese films. Some pretty interesting stuff here. Now, again, I don't have my notes out, so I'm just going off the cuff with some of this stuff. So bear with me. The first Blu-ray I want to feature is a film that I've covered on this channel, of course, and it's the Korean film, The Suspect. You get The Suspect here. This is like it's an action thriller, I would say. I think in my review, my full-length review, I identified it as a Jason Bourne clone, because that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is. You got this guy who he's played by Gong Yoo, by the way, who's everyone's familiar with now after Train to Busan. But he's the best field agent in North Korea until he's abandoned during a mission. And he's hunted and on the run, torn between grief and vengeance. So he kind of goes undercover in the south. But then he gets accused of murder and is on the run again. So he's got to figure out what's going on. There's a conspiracy at play. You get, the authorities are after him. And he's got to take care of business. So this is a pretty solid action flick. It is. It's the best aspect about this movie is the pacing. It's fast. And it keeps moving and it keeps you engaged. I do think some of the action scenes are maybe a little bit too tightly shot with the camera, maybe a little bit too much shaky cam and tight editing, which South Korea does do on occasion, but it's still quite entertaining to watch. And I liked some of the car chases in this were pretty sweet too. There's a few maneuvers that he does in the car that I've never seen before in a movie, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't, because it kind of makes sense to do it that way. So, yeah, if you want just a good, entertaining action flick, check out The Suspect. And there's no special features on this. This is a Region A Blu-ray from Wellgo USA. The next one is a highlight from a recent memory. This is the Eureka release, so it'll be Region B Blu-ray of Midnight. Yes, Midnight. This is another one I covered on my channel a few months ago. And this is a pretty fantastic thriller involving a deaf mute girl who's being stalked by a serial killer. So it's pretty cool. Again, a full-length review. You could check it out. But basically, one of the things that really surprised me about this one was that 90% of the film takes place out in the streets in the middle of the night. It's not like a movie like this. Typically, a girl would be in her house, and the intruder comes in her house, and the whole movie's from her house. Not in this case, which makes it really fun to watch. Now, I think it does stretch some credibility, because it goes that aggressively with its suspense. But it's really entertaining stuff. One of the foot chases in this is one of the best I've ever seen. Like, that's how good it is. So I definitely recommend this. I think this is a fun movie. And the Blu-ray includes a limited edition card slipcase. It has a new audio commentary by film historian Kat Ellinger, and I listened to it, and it's quite good. A new video essay on the history of Korean horror cinema by critic Travis Crawford, and a limited edition collector's booklet, featuring new writing by author and critic Alexandra Heller-Nicholas. So if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of physical media Blu-ray releases over the past few years, both Kat Ellinger and Alexandra Heller-Nicholas are on a lot of that stuff, and they're both very entertaining. So yes, I recommend this. This is very entertaining stuff. If you want to keep up with like the newest Korean movies from the past few years, I think that's a must-watch. Now let's go to some Hong Kong stuff here. We got a mix of old and new, mostly older. But we have the Eureka release of City Hunter. Yes, City Hunter. This movie's, this is a movie that, the first time I saw it, I'm like, this is stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, what is this? This is just dumb. But then I watched it again years later. I'm like, this is actually kind of entertaining. And then now I watch it, on the Blu-ray. I'm like, wow, I could watch this movie quite a lot. So this is, Jackie Chan stars as a girl-chasing private detective in this hilarious live-action adaptation of the popular Japanese manga series. So he's hired to track down the runaway daughter of a publishing tycoon, and he goes aboard a luxury cruise ship. And, hijinks and action ensue. So you have Joey Wong is in this, a few other people. I know Richard Norton is in this, too, which is really, really a lot of fun. And I don't know, there's something about this movie, it's just very watchable. And having a nice, clean Blu-ray presentation definitely helps. Some of the special features: alternate closing credits song, archival interviews with Jackie Chan, interview with director Wong Jing, interview with stuntman and longtime member of Jackie Chan's stunt team, Rocky Lai, interview with Richard Norton, and an interview with kickboxer Gary Daniels, who's also in this. So if you're a fan of like the 80s and 90s Hong Kong action flicks, you'll definitely notice Richard Norton and Gary Daniels. So yeah, I like this movie, and it's grown on me over time. Maybe because they don't really make them like this anymore. That's probably why. All right, we got a new one, and again, I reviewed this on my channel, of course. It's Benny Chan's final film, Raging Fire, with Donnie Yen and Nicholas Che. And I've been looking forward to this for multiple years. And then when it finally came out, I checked it out, and it delivered. I was excited for it, but when I go into the movies, I try to temper my expectations. Even when I went to see The Raid 2, I try to temper my expectations a bit. You know what I mean? But I think this is really entertaining stuff. It's very nicely paced. It's got a bunch of action. They save the best action for the end, which is always nice. And the final fight between Donnie and Nicholas it's legit. It's a legit good fight, man. It's just good, entertaining, just action in this. Explosive. And the plot's actually pretty decent, too, I thought. So that's good. This has a making of Raging Fire, some trailers, but that's about it. This is the Well Go USA release. And that's Region A for you, Region A Blu-ray. So check out Raging Fire. I'm going to miss Benny, and he finished strong. I think this is in his top 3 movies, I think. Next, we have another really good Blu-ray release. This one from Eureka, Time and Tide. This is one that kind of, I wouldn't say no one talks about it, but it should get talked about more. This is a Choi Hark film. He went to the U.S., made some flicks with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Double Team and Knockoff. Then he went back, made Time and Tide, and it was a great return to form for him. This is a really entertaining flick. You got Nicholas Che again, and you got a streetwise young man becomes a bodyguard to secure quick cash. He soon befriends a once disillusioned mercenary, determined to make a fresh start with his new wife. But they find themselves working together to foil an assassination attempt, and all kinds of crazy stuff ensue. So it's just another, this movie has like a certain personality and style to it that I really enjoyed. Some of the camera work in this movie is fantastic. The action is great, and all kinds of entertaining stuff in this. Again, it's a newer turn-of-the-century Hong Kong action flick that really delivers. Special features: we got a slipcase, we got a feature-length audio commentary by Choi Hark, a feature-length audio commentary by Frank Zhang, and a collector's booklet featuring new writing by Stephen To. So yeah, this is another one that's worth checking out. I'm really glad it got a nice tricked out Blu-ray release, because I always felt like this movie was overlooked, and it still kind of is, but it's getting a little bit more attention, so that's nice. And of course, that's Region B because it's a Eureka release. All right, we got one here. Got another one here. I think I ordered this from Hong Kong. Yeah, this is a Hong Kong release, but it's Region A because Hong Kong Blu-rays are Region A. And this is Eye in the Sky. This is one of my favorite Hong Kong movies of all time, right here. It's got Simon Yan, the other Tony Leung, as they call him, older Tony, and Kate Choi is also in this. She's actually quite good in this. You know, former model, and her performance in this is really good. And it's basically like, I don't know, it's like a surveillance film. It's almost like if you ever seen The French Connection, and like in the middle section they have the surveillance scenes where you have like half a dozen cops tailing a suspect. And the thing is, when you're tailing somebody, if somebody's smart, they're going to notice that you're tailing them, right? So these guys, just like the guys from A French Connection, they have a team. And so one guy will follow the suspect. When it starts to get a little awkward, like he thinks he might get outed as he's tailing him, he walks away and passes the suspect off to another guy who's a cop, and they kind of hand them off. And then, you know, before it gets suspicious, this cop hands him off to another cop who follows. So it's like, it's really kind of an interesting way of being able to tail someone for a significant period of time without being suspected of it. So it's like very cat and mouse game-ish with little spurts of suspense and action mixed in. I love this movie. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it's a must-watch if you have not seen it. It's Region A Blu-ray. You can get it on DDD House, I think. Maybe even Yes Asia would have it. You know, you got English subs and everything. I don't think there's any special features on this, but there are, but it's in Cantonese. So yeah. So yes, if you haven't seen this, check it out. I also have a review of it on my channel. Here's a horror film that's pretty intense, like surprisingly intense. And this is a Region 3 DVD. It's an all-region DVD that I picked up on eBay. And that is called The Imp. Look at this, dude. The Imp. Now, the first time I saw the poster of this way back in the day, I thought it would be like a cheesy crap horror film. But this movie's actually really cool. It's, and it's another one of those films that I appreciate more and more every time I watch it. This guy is a pregnant wife, and he's having job troubles, you know, but one day he gets a new job as a security guard. Unfortunately, strange incidents happen, and his colleagues die in horrible ways. A geomancer tells him that the next victim will be him, and he tries to learn a way to avoid his fate. And this is just a legit good quality horror film from the early 80s. Tons of atmosphere, and the story's pretty good, and you kind of you could get behind the main character in this because he's trying to, like, you know, secure his financial position. You know, there's a lot of pressure on you when things aren't working out, right? As we all know. So, yeah, this is a good flick. I really enjoy this. If you want, like, an old school Hong Kong horror flick from back in the day, yeah, check out The Imp. You may still be able to get this. I think I got this on eBay, but the availability's kind of been on and off over the years. And the final Hong Kong film before we move to Japan is a pretty great Vinegar Syndrome release of Ebola Syndrome. Another one I reviewed on my channel. Indeed. And, yes, this one is, you know, I like movies that are inappropriate and that, you know, people would be offended by the fact that I'm watching it. And this is one of those movies. I very much enjoy films like that, especially in 2022. I've said this before, you know, especially nowadays where, like, everyone's walking on pins and needles. I love watching movies like this, especially if they're legitimately entertaining, which this one is. And this is a Herman Yao film. It's one of his popular Cat 3 films from the 90s, along with Untold Story. And it's so inappropriate. Anthony Wong plays this guy who assaults a woman in Africa and then contracts the Ebola virus and then goes back to Hong Kong, intentionally starts spreading it to people and murdering people. And it's just chaos. And it's it has a black humor to it as well, which is totally even makes it even more offensive. And I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, you got a nice Blu-ray disc here, and also an Ultra HD Blu-ray. I don't even have a 4K player, but I got this for the Blu-ray. So yeah, it's pretty nice release. I was very, very happy with this. Special features: brand new introduction by Herman Yao, interview with Herman Yao, a brand new featurette with Herman Yao on the difficulties of translating Cantonese into English. I haven't watched a few of these special features yet. Another interview with Herman Yao and Anthony Wong, commentary track with Herman Yao and Anthony Wong, and then a commentary track with Sam Deegan, 20-page booklet, reversible cover artwork, all kinds of good stuff. Reversible cover artwork. Have I looked at the reversible? Oh, it's the old school poster, I think. So, yeah, this is worth picking up. This is another one of those movies I was kind of like iffy on it the first time I saw it. I'm like, this is just kind of stupid. Like, what is this? But over the years, I've grown to appreciate the offensiveness of Category 3 films. So that it definitely ups the ante in terms of their entertainment value. So, yeah, I'm a big fan. Now, every time I go back and see a Cat 3 film, I appreciate it more. All right, now, and this was a Region A Blu-ray, by the way. Now we go to the Japanese films here, folks. Go to Japan. And the first one is the worst blind buy I have bought in years. It's the worst blind buy I've bought in years, from especially a well-known label. And that is the Third Window Films release of Zoki. Now, when I read that this was an anthology film, I perked up. Because Japanese anthologies are frequently very entertaining. And obviously, they made a ton of really good horror anthologies over the years. But also, even like the genre-bending anthologies, like 10 Nights of Dreams was really good. Jam Films was really entertaining. And then a bunch of like anime anthologies as well. So I was excited. I'm like, ooh, a new anthology from Japan? It's getting like a major Blu-ray release in the US. And you get 5 interconnected stories from the wild mind of cult manga author Hiroyuki Ohashi. Comprise this live-action feature by a couple different directors. Naoto Takanaka directed one? The actor? I didn't even know that. So I'm watching this movie, and like, there's like it starts with a story with Ryuhei Matsuda, and man, by the half-hour mark, this movie just completely lost me. It, like, nothing happens. I mean, I might be exaggerating when I say nothing happens, but it felt like nothing happened. And I'm just sitting like a half hour into this movie, and I'm just like pulling my hair out. I'm like, guys, you gotta give me something, man. And by that time, it lost me. I mean, there's like a few decent scenes. There's one scene, it's actually kind of creepy, in the middle of like a park involving like a walking mannequin. I was like, whoa, that was by far the best scene in this boring movie. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, okay. I even started the movie over from the start. I'm like, I have to focus really hard to like get what's in here. Nah, I don't even think it matters. You know, a lot of people are just kind of like sitting around, just like making small talk. Like, that's your movie for the most part. So I did not like this much at all. No. Special features are interview with all 3 directors and behind the scenes. I never even bothered. Who knows? I mean, maybe I'll give it another chance. It's in my collection, but man, release Jam Films on Blu-ray. Release 10 Nights of Dreams on Blu-ray in the US. I mean, this is just this one's a dog of a movie. All right, next we get really entertaining movies that I've reviewed, and they came out on Blu-ray, and that is Zeiram 1 and 2. Yes, the Zeiram movies. Super entertaining, intergalactic cute bounty hunter girl beaten up and fighting against what would you call it? Like a cyborg biological weapon monster type thing. Yeah, these are good flicks. Very entertaining. I think I bought one on Orbit DVD and the other one on Amazon. I think the sequel's easier to find now, but you can still find the original if you look hard enough. So these are very entertaining. Came out in the early 90s. I really like the lead actress. She's very charismatic. Check out my full-length reviews of each of these if you want more information. It's just they're just a lot of fun. Tokusatsu films. Now the original Blu-ray. These are who released Media Blasters released the first one, and Tokyo Shock technically as the sequel. But the first one has a trailer, promo trailer, and a making of featurette with interviews by director Kenta Amemiya and Yuko Moriyama, the stars. So check out Zeiram. They're fun. The sequel special features are trailers, design gallery, and 82 days with the Amemiya. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Amemiya family? So yeah, check out Zeiram. Now the next two films I got, those are Region A, by the way. I always forget to say what region. Sometimes in life you gotta take what you can get. All right, I do have the first three Rurouni Kenshin live action films on Blu-ray. They were released in the United States. To my knowledge, they have not been released on Blu-ray with English subtitles yet anywhere. And if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments section. So, when all else fails, if you can get them on Malaysian DVD, you get them on Malaysian DVD. So these are all region English subtitle releases of Rurouni Kenshin, the final, and Rurouni Kenshin, the beginning, the fourth and fifth films. So, if I can't have them on Blu-ray, I'm going to have them on DVD, right? And if you have not seen these movies, they're pretty fantastic. I do think the beginning is a little bit on the slow side, but it adds a new dynamic to the series. But the final is this is just a freaking crowd pleaser of a movie, and they are considered all five films are considered to be some of the best live action adaptations of manga ever made. So if you like fast paced sword play action with like a legit good story and good acting and direction, you gotta check out the whole series. And I think multiple versions are available on Netflix now, and you can find all of them streaming somewhere legitimately. I'm pretty sure. So if you have not seen these, check them out. The Malaysian releases almost never have special features though. Alright, here's another one I covered a little while back. This is an American release by Wellgo USA, I believe again, of Hydra. Yes, Hydra. This is the type of action flick that Japan needs to produce more often. This is lower budget, but it's like an action thriller. And after this guy's retired as an assassin, he leads a quiet life as a chef at a sushi bar. And he secretly watches over the daughter of a former associate to, just watch her come of age and protect her. And his peace is short-lived. He's recruited for a final job. So, very generic story. The story's not that great in this. But this is one of those movies where it's like pretty short film. It's like 70-something or 80 minutes long or something like that. I probably have it right here. I don't have it on the back. 76 minutes. 1 hour and 16 minutes long. And there are like two awesome fights in this. You know what I mean? Really fast-paced, wide camera angles. Really cool choreography. Like, they make the movie. And the rest of the movie's pretty good, for sure. But the two fights, the featured fights in this are, like, legit. So, I wish Japan would produce more movies like this, where it's, like, urban martial arts action movies. We need more of these out of Japan. Like, they do really good, like, samurai-era action flicks, like Rurouni Kenshin, right? But we need more urban, contemporary action flicks from Japan. Kind of like Security Police, the motion picture from 2010. That's a good one. All right, so there's that one. And, we got a big one. We got a big one here. I bought this Blu-ray on eBay. Who released this? Is this a Japanese Blu-ray? I think it might be one of those rare instances where this is a Japanese Blu-ray that had English subtitles. Unbelievable. It was like a miracle. And this is the Mamoto Oshii film, Angel's Egg. All right? Angel's Egg. And this is phenomenal. It's isn't my favorite anime film of all time. It's up there. And I rewatched it again like a month ago, and it holds up. This movie's really cool. I mean, it's like very like atmospheric, a post-apocalyptic. It's about a girl who's like carrying an egg around, and there's like, I don't know, it's so hard to describe it. It's very like, you could read some symbolism in it, or allegories and metaphors. It's very like visually presented, and you almost have to let it wash over you, like the imagery, while she's walking through this post-apocalyptic urban environment with lots of destroyed buildings and like military people running around. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. It's just such a cool freaking movie. And I'm sure it doesn't run that long. 71 minutes, another short film. And this, I don't know, there's something about this film. It's so well made and just visually intoxicating that it entertains me every minute of its runtime. And this version, I think, does have the English subtitles on it. But you don't even need English subs for this because there's barely any freaking dialogue anyway. So, if you have not seen Angel's Egg, you absolutely, I think, need to watch it. Even if you're not into like artsy-fartsy anime, this is artsy-fartsy anime. But it's the best that you can get. You know what I mean? It's up there. And Mamoto Oshii, the same guy who did Ghost in the Shell and all this other stuff. Awesome. And another Mamoto Oshii property, at least the first few films and stuff. I got the complete Patlabor Collection. Yes, the complete collection released... Who the heck released this? Made in Japan. And this has, like, a lot of stuff in it. You got the entire television series. Alright? And that's 47 episodes of the anime TV show. And this is about, like, it's basically like military, or I shouldn't say military, like labor mech suits. And like there's a police organization that uses them to stop like malfunctioning mech suits or villains who use mechs to like commit crimes. That's basically what it is. And the TV show is very cool. 47 episodes. You get like a mix of, some episodes are more action-packed. Other episodes are very laid back, and you just look into the characters. So it's nicely balanced. And then you get the original OVA series, which was also directed by Mamoto Oshii. And then you get the movies, the first two of which I believe were directed by Mamoto Oshii. So Oshii directed the OVA series and the first two movies, I believe. And then you get another OVA series called The New Files on top of that. And then you get the third film. So you get the original TV show. You get both OVA series, the OVA series and The New Files. And then you get all three movies. All right? So it's 840 or 54 minutes of content in this. And it was pretty affordable when I got it. So, yeah, if you're interested, this is a pretty cool show, good quality stuff, and came through. I very much enjoyed it. So, yes, that's a batch of haul items, most of which very solid. Again, it's kind of rare when I'm really like stung by a blind buy, like Zoki did to me. So that one really kind of stung. That one needed some quality control. But everything else, you know, I mean, pretty entertaining stuff. So. Again, if you've seen any of these, let me know your thoughts. And hopefully this inspired you to buy a few of them. Add to your collection. And I will try to cycle these videos back into my upload schedule on a more regular basis, because I'm getting far behind. So, as always, folks, I will see you next time.